Yes, and I'm gonna look at you.
Yes.
Okay. And you can hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Work. Yeah, don't kick that out.
I know. She gets crazy when she's drunk.
Yeah, so true.
Okay.
Okay.
One more time. Can you state your first and last name and spell it out for me?
Okay. Jami Deluca, Jami Deluca.
This is Jami Deluca, a certified ray of sunshine I met only last year in my dreaded media and culture class. I didn't know you lived here, Jamie.
Yeah, this is like actually where I'm like moving into.
She'd probably deny it, but this girl's a creative prodigy if I've ever met one. Anyways, after I complimented her shoes at the end of one of those classes, kidnapped her to Richie's, and yapped at her for an hour, we're now great friends. And I couldn't be more grateful to have such an amazing presence in my life. I hope she'd say the same. Jamie is a junior photography major at Temple, usually working with both film and digital formats, but mostly film. This semester, though, she's taking the time to explore other forms of light-sensitive printing techniques, such as cyanotyping.
So for cyanotyping, the steps, it's pretty simple. All you need is to just coat paper with the cyanotype, which you mix. It's two chemicals, equal parts mixed together. Coat the paper, wait for it to dry, and then you expose it, you wash it out, and that's it. It's so simple. You just have to expose it to any light, and then you have to put it through multiple chemicals in order for it to be a solid print. But they both relate in the amount of time you need to expose it, and intensity of the light, the aperture, is only really an issue with darkroom, because all you need is just UV for cyanotyping, but the strength of the light does affect how long you would expose the paper for, which is the same in both. Things that aren't as traditional photography that relate to what I like is it's a lot more hands-on, like especially with non-silver printing, which is all alternative process, which isn't digital or traditional darkroom. It's way more tactile, and I think it makes you have to use your brain, and it's a different kind of problem solving than any other type of traditional photography or any other art that I've done. It's nice. I enjoy the challenge because it's a lot of also going back and retrying something over and over again because it didn't work this way, or it came out too dark, it came out too light, you didn't mix the chemical correctly. It's very trial and error, and I think it forces you to have patience and an open mind, but I also like putting effort into things. I don't like when it's just like that, like quick and done, because I feel like then the product isn't as satisfying. So like when I'm forced to take time on something, I really like how it makes me make more creative projects. I love digital photography. I think it's wonderful, but yeah, there's something I think a lot of photographers agree. There's an effect with older cameras and older processes, analog processes, where you can't replicate it any other way. You can tell the difference shooting pictures on your iPhone or like a digital camera from the 2000s. There's a different effect, and I think it's also really fun to experiment with older technology and just see like what they were rocking with back a few years ago. Also with film, it's like kind of fun because it's like you never know what you're gonna get. It's like you know what you're shooting, but sometimes you forget by the end of the roll, or you just don't know if your exposures are gonna come out right. You might shoot the whole roll clear, and then you're really sad. But it's part of the process. Through like making mistakes, I think that is the best way I could learn is by, I have been lucky to have professors that kind of just like show me how to do it and then say like, go play, and then I'm free to make as many mistakes as I want. It's like taught me you cannot rush things. Like if it's something that's going to take time, take the time, because if you want it to be a quality image, a quality product, you need to make sure you slow down and take the time, and don't be afraid to go back and redo it. I think a lot of people, even myself, just want things to get done sometimes, so we leave it as it is, but know that I have the capability to go back and make it better. So I think doing all this like non-traditional stuff, there's less wiggle room to make an image look good. So I do have to go back more and more. It's hard because you have to use a lot of material, which sucks, but it's worth it in the end, because then also the more times I've made mistakes on one print helps me make less mistakes on the next print. So it works out. But trying new things in school and like being forced out of my comfort zone a lot has definitely shaped, I guess, yeah, how I go about my creative process, how I do all that. Like the longer I do it, the more passionate I feel. I don't feel like my creativity is dwindling. I think it's easy to get a creative burnout when you're in school doing art, and I felt like that probably my freshman year, but I also wasn't doing anything that I really liked at that time because it was all like very required courses. But it's just, the longer I do it, the more it solidifies that I want to do something in a creative field. I've been introduced to being a photographer. Like, I would love to work with museums. I think that's great. I would love to work in the archives or just in the studio and like get to see all really old shit and like old pictures, and like restoration is so interesting to me as well. Honestly, my only problem is I like too much. Like, I love working with lighting. I would love to just be on shoots. I love to direct shoots. But yeah, just to be satisfied, I think, in whatever I do would be the main goal.